Good evening. A Home Rule think tank has launched its vision of a new union should voters reject independence. Devo Plus has called on opposition parties to work together to push for greater powers if Scotland votes no to independence. Our political correspondent Claire Stewart reports.
There will be a referendum. David Cameron and Alex Salmond have shaken on it. But if Scotland votes no to independence, what then?
Stay here.
This group want to see a Scottish Parliament with more powers, and today they offered a blueprint of their alternative to independence.
A new union is a proposal that can bring together the parties that don't support independence to provide a very clear destination for devolution that people will understand when it comes to the referendum.
Under the Devo Plus plans, Holyrood would raise more of what it spends, with some tax powers transferred, but Westminster keeping others. Welfare areas like the universal credit and pensions would stay down south, but Scotland would take control of work programmes and winter fuel payments. Individual MSPs today back the plans. Devo Plus now want the Lib Dems, Labour and the Tories to sign up to their vision.
If people are really going to understand what we're going to get after the referendum, that needs to not only be set out by each of the parties, but they need to come together to say what mutually they would sign up to, because then the public can believe that that will be delivered.
The Lib Dems are in favour of Home Rule and Labour do have a commission on devolution, but Ruth Davidson has drawn a line in the sand, wanting no more powers for Holyrood. As for the SNP, nothing short of independence will do.
Well, I believe independence is the best future for Scotland to decide for ourselves what powers we have, what powers we share, and be in charge of our own destiny. I think where the organisation publishing the document today has got a point is that it is incumbent on those arguing for a no vote in the referendum to say exactly what extra powers they think Scotland should have.
Devolution, it's said, is a process. The question now is where that process will end. Claire Stewart, STV News, Edinburgh.
NHS Highland has apologised to the family of a baby boy who died shortly after birth for failing to provide appropriate care during the pregnancy and loss of their child. The Scottish Public Services Ombudsman upheld a number of complaints against the Health Board. Nicola McAlley reports.
The baby boy was born prematurely at Raigmore Hospital in Inverness in January last year at the age of 22 weeks. In a report by the Scottish Public Services Ombudsman, complaints by the child's family have been upheld. The baby's parents, who haven't been named, say they weren't told that their son's heart was still beating as he was born, and therefore they weren't given the opportunity to hold him as he died. The report also found that the Health Board failed to tell the family that the baby had an abdominal defect and should have been referred to a specialist. It also found that an amniocentesis test, a test for Down syndrome, should not have been carried out at Caithness General Hospital, and it found that the Health Board had not observed guidelines set out by the Royal College of Obstetricians when carrying out this amniocentesis test. The parents of the baby told the Ombudsman that they had been devastated by the loss of their son. They said they had only found out through reading medical notes that his heart had still been beating at the point of birth, and they would never get over the fact that they hadn't been given the chance to hold him as he died. A number of recommendations have been made. In a statement, NHS Highland said it has unreservedly apologised and offered sincere condolences to the baby boy's family, and it's working hard to try to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. Nicola McAlley, STV News in Inverness.
Detectives hunting dangerous fugitive Lee Cyrus, who's been linked with a rape in Perth, have released a new CCTV image of him. Cyrus, also known as Ivan Leach, has been on the run from an open prison since last month and was last spotted in Nottingham more than 4 weeks ago. The search for the 47-year-old featured in tonight's Crime Watch programme. Just 3 years after it stood on the brink of collapse and with its reputation in tatters, Aberdeen City Council claims it's turned the corner. The Labour Conservative coalition has pledged no job losses or spending cuts in the forthcoming budget. The authority still needs to make £50 million of savings in the next 5 years. Meanwhile, it's been criticised by political opponents for taking credit for the turnaround.
It is important to recognise that under the previous administration, Aberdeen came closer to a complete crash than any city except Liverpool has ever done in the UK. And I think that it's important to realise how close to the brink we came.
In 5 years,
Labour produced one budget at the very end. It was full of election giveaways and goodies, which meant it was overspent by £2 million. That's not good financial management. So what we're hearing from the Labour Party taking credit for this is either lies or it's fantasy.
A flood-ravaged Perthshire community is on alert for more heavy rain tomorrow. Emergency service teams are on standby in case river levels threaten the village of Comrie, which was hit by a huge flash flood on Monday. Around 100 houses were affected in the Dalgan-Ross area when the river burst its banks. A £110 million emergency care centre in Aberdeen is almost ready to welcome new patients. The state-of-the-art building at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary will house a new accident and emergency centre, high dependency ward and other services. In 2 weeks, patients and staff will be moved into the new building, which is said to be the most ambitious project undertaken by NHS Grampian in a generation.
We've got the most modern equipment. We've got pneumatic tube systems which connect directly to the laboratories, so that means that tests can be turned around much more quickly. And the standard of accommodation is much higher. In our inpatient facilities, 75% of the beds are in single rooms with ensuite accommodation, and that's much better for the privacy and dignity of patients.
Well, that's all we've time for tonight. Don't forget you can keep up to date online and through our phone apps. But for now, from all the Aberdeen team, it's time to hand back to Scotland Tonight.